Hey everybody, good morning. Happy Monday. This is your Monday note for science. I just wanted to go over our plan in the Google Classroom for the week of April 20th to the 24th. Yes, you'll hear some farm sounds of Rough and Ready in the background. It's kind of nice. All right, so let's start here with at the beginning of each week. I always include just kind of a general note of what we're kind of up to. Yes, last week your Mystery Monday answers were really awesome. We have a new mystery, of course, this week too. Just trying to keep it a local example. This week, Earth Day is on Wednesday, so we're still focused on environmental impacts, specifically of our cell phones. That was our project that you started last week. So on here, you will find our weekly outline for 8th grade. That shows, of course, all of your classes and things that are due and how to kind of schedule things out. What I also included here is just one specifically for 8th grade. If this is an easier way to look at your assignments for 8th grade, awesome. Also, your Google Classroom codes are on there too, if need be. I'm going to go through each of these as it appears on Google Classroom, but basically the big idea is that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, giving you time to work on your environmental impacts of your cell phone project. It is due on Wednesday. That's our goal. And remember, there's lots of flexibility about what you do for that project. And then I'm also going to explain these other two, but I'll do that in the Google Classroom. So if this is an easier way to look at your assignments in science, awesome. It is right here under your 8th grade distance learning part. Okay, so for Monday, look, somebody's already turned it in. We have our Mystery Monday. In this case, let's make sure that we're following our claim, evidence, and reasoning format. So just your response should be 3 sentences about what you think is happening. In this case, our mystery has to do with mining waste and why it would need treatment in the town of Grass Valley. The reason why we want to practice our claim, evidence, and reasoning is that in high school, this is what you use a lot. This is how you kind of approach any kind of analysis question that you're assigned. That's really, we always want to support what we say with evidence. All right, so our plan for Tuesday, Wednesday, I have 2 days on this, and of course today too, is for you, and I reposted the assignment about the environmental impacts of your cell phone. And remember, you're just choosing one element to research. And with that element, you want to figure out, well, where is it mined? Like, where on Earth is it mined? How is it extracted? Is it just dug up? How is it treated with chemicals to isolate it? Or is it used in its pure form, like gold, for example, often is? How is that metal processed to become part of the cell phone? This part here, I've had a lot of great questions. In particular, I would focus on what is that element doing in the cell phone? So is that element a key component to like your microchip sort of processing, or is it part of the screen, or is it a component that makes your phone vibrate? That's really how that could be answered. The next part is, can that material be recycled? So when we upgrade our phones, or when we're done with our phones, or our phones break, what happens to this stuff? So if those components can be recycled, awesome. Or does it just end up in a landfill? So that's something important to think about. The last part is, what are some solutions? Because there's environmental impacts going on along this whole way. So we want to figure out where there's some solutions so that we're not creating as big of an impact on Earth with all of us millions and billions of people using cell phones. Keep in mind, you do have options about how you present your project. So it's up to you if you want to do a slideshow, a video, anything of that nature, you can. I think I have some more. Oops, nope, I have the rest of these items listed here. So there is an example of a thing link on here. You basically have a background image and you connect bits of information and add to that. So that's kind of a nice example. You can draw a cartoon and then snap a photo to turn that in. You guys are pretty techie. For those of you that are writers, you could write a letter to a cell phone manufacturer to tell them, this is where all this stuff is coming from and this is what happens and this process should change. So keep in mind, this is wide open about how you connect all those things, but just make sure that you're including these 4 parts of your research. Okay, so that's that portion. And always going back to our classwork page. So that's pretty much wide open for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On our Wednesday Earth Day thing, I just had a few other items on here just for you to cruise through, thinking about Earth Day and how we can be mindful of our electricity use and our devices as ways to reduce our carbon footprint. So something kind of extra to check out. On Thursday, I had a short Newsella article about mining in space. So why don't we just mine in space? Because maybe there'd be less environmental impacts. The article is short. There's a little short quiz, just a few questions. And then you just want to tell me what you think in terms of what's happening with the pros and cons of mining in space and why we would do that. Okay, so that's pretty short. And it does get submitted through Newsella. So it'll show up in Newsella as you having it completed. It won't automatically show up in Google Classroom as completed because they're two different programs. But we'll see how that goes. Maybe you guys will like that. And then Friday, notice how it says optional. Anything that says optional is optional. But I have also gotten feedback that some of the students, you guys are concerned about being ready for high school and maybe aren't challenged enough with some of our distance learning stuff. So here's something a little extra. If you're interested and you have time and motivation and interest, you could do this climate wedge activity where basically you analyze a bunch of different energy sources, how we get our electricity and energy for heating and transportation. And basically you come up with a strategy of picking 7 of these different energy sources and putting them together as a way to reduce our impact on the climate. It's kind of challenging. It would take a little bit, but my goal would be having us on Friday at 11:30. If you're interested in sharing what you developed, we could all meet. I'm picturing this will probably be a smaller group, but those that are interested, it might be kind of fun. And then that way you can share for each other and ask each other questions. And I would love to hear what you come up with. So once again, this is optional, but this is a high school activity. So this is something that I have assigned in the past to my 10th and 11th graders. And so you can just try it out, see what it looks like. Just giving you some options for those of you that are maybe bored. I did hear that a few people were bored. The other things I wanted to mention here are, did it disappear? I got to move this up to the top, but I will point out that under the distance learning resources, the Zoom meeting date and time and the distance learning Zoom meeting code information is here. It's always on the Google Classroom. So that's where we would get that information. Okay, the only other thing that I'm going to put in here is that your electives teachers have classrooms that they've probably invited you to on through your email so that you can actually access all of their elective videos and stuff that they've made for you guys all in one spot. All right, so that's kind of my Monday note of sorts. Hope everybody has a good week, and let me know if you have questions. Hope everybody's doing well, and yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me know if you have questions. Bye.